Hey everybody, it's Connor back from This Old Farm, and today we're just getting out at the farm here today, and we got a little bit of hay cutting to do here. We got the 806 on the Kuhn cutter. If we drop the GoPro down and flip the thing up, turn you upside down so you can see that, GMD 700 GIIHG, whatever those numbers mean. But we got a little, I shouldn't say little, big field to go cut up some hay, trying to get I want to say that's third cropping it'll be out of it. We got the landowner is actually, and there's the 706, the landowner is actually selling the property and is kind of being nice and thinking of us, and essentially what his thoughts are here, I'm thinking, is as they start showing the house and whatnot, they're gonna, at least this is what he told us, they're going to be having people like driving on the property, like where our hay is. And so he's trying to be nice, let us know ahead of time before this happens, or before they start driving on the hay, to come and cut it and get it baled up so that we don't lose our hay crop that we did, because this spring we put fertilizer down on that field, and so we don't want to have that fertilizer go to waste. So we're here, or I'm here to go, that's that piece, maybe I'll throw that on one of the bolts here, these, whatever you want to call this, that goes on to the cutter here, which holds the shield on. There's one here, and then there's one, he goes there, possibly. Yeah, we'll say there. It sheared off on Dad when he took it apart because we had to replace belts. I see Dad's left a whole mess here. But we got a, let's see, Dad did some work on it. There's a what do I want to call it? Plastic. I want to say it's a plastic bushing that sits, if we come down here, sits right down in that little crack there. You can kind of see that shiny part is actually that bushing. Put that up before he causes problems here. So that plastic bushing, what happened was a couple years ago when we were using it, or over the time of using it, I guess, it slowly, from it flipping back and forth and stuff, like when because it's on it attaches to the 3-point only, so it gets a little bit of a whiplash sometimes, and so essentially what happened is the thing, that little bushing in there disintegrated, the old one that was originally in it. So Dad replaced that, put new belts on to it, I do believe, and then of course he's got a couple other miscellaneous parts to hopefully help fix it up a little bit more. There were the blades on the knives of the cutter do kind of need to be, they're double-sided blades, so you can flip them around and get a second using out of the blades. They do kind of need to have that done to them, but the side that they're cutting with right now is still sort of half decent, so we're gonna work with that because I don't have a lot of time until daylight runs out, and so I kind of want to try and get going here, hopefully as soon as possible, which should be right after we finish making this video pretty much. So anyways, I just kind of want to make this to I'll give you an update, I guess. I don't just one, apologize for taking 2 weeks off there. I see last video was 2 weeks ago that I made, so apologies for not making a video at all. I've been really busy out here, really, essentially. Let's see, yesterday we just went through and baled up 147 bales with Mo. We actually ran them out of gas right about there. Got lucky, made it back and up the driveway, and he killed. But anyways, we've been just kind of working like madmen trying to get hay made up, because pretty soon that cornfield up there is gonna get chopped here. Dad said he's got a week off from work coming up soon, so we're gonna be chopping corn silage, making corn silage up in the field there. Let's get rid of this. We've been having issues. That plastic bushing that I was telling you all about down there was making, our theory is because there was a gap in there, the cutter was able to kind of slide back and forth, and therefore would take tension off of our belts. And so we lost a belt once while Dad was on there, so I'm going to throw this out so it's not in the way. And then while I was cutting one night, I also lost two, and they're actually up in the bucket there of the 706. So we're hopefully replacing that plastic bushing down there is going to have fixed that issue. That's why we got four new belts on the cutter, and they should be tightened up. There's a little, you can see that little canister right there. Looks almost like an oil canister or oil filter canister. There's a spring in there, and that's kind of acts as your belt tension. It keeps it, keeps your belts pulled up and tight, and therefore it doesn't slip when you're using the cutter and stuff. Oh, another thing too is we got, if I turn the camera around and zoom, that big old dish in there, the big plate. There's two bearings down in there, and the bearings, one of them actually seized up, and one got really stiff at tightening, and so that plate is welded onto, we'll just call it the shaft, a shaft, but it's like a shaft, and then it's got kind of a big piece that the plate slides onto, or kind of sits on, and then gets welded onto, and the plate actually broke off of that. So one day when it was raining out over the weekend, Dad went through and welded that back up, and he got two new bearings for it. I went through, put the bearings on, or in. I got the old ones out, put the new ones in, and then I installed that shaft with the plate welded on. So we got that fixed up. Basically, essentially what that does is, when you're cutting the grass, that end row, it kind of bumps it inward, sort of like, well, I don't know what a sort of like would be, but it just kind of bumps it over so that it makes your row a little bit narrower, rather than being so big and bulky, and then you wind up driving over your hay when you're coming down. When you're going down the next row, it winds up, as your field's over here that you need to cut, as you're driving down it, this side would end up driving on the hay, and that's not good, because you press it down into the ground, and then it's kind of hard to rake up and bale and yada yada yada. But anyways, I've rambled on for 10 minutes now, almost. I got hay to cut, and so I'm going to let you guys go here. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully we'll get a normal video out here soon. I know I've been kind of pretty on to the farm update, we're calling them, series here. But the one nice thing about it is they're just so nice and quick to make. There's no editing. There's no nothing. I just record it on my phone and add a title, caption, and we're off on YouTube. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll get a normal video out soon. And we'll talk to you guys all next time.